Okay, I want to address, there are so many mistaken notions about what a realized being is supposed to look like or not look like or act like or not act like. You have people that come with this whole list of things. If you're doing this, you can't be realized. If you look like this, you can't be realized, according to their definition. So let's look at some of the things that are said in the Ashtavakra Gita, okay, which is written by Adi Sankacharya, okay, and also by Ramana, okay. So let's clear this matter up. Sometimes a fool, sometimes a sage, sometimes possessed of regal splendor, sometimes wandering, sometimes behaving like a motionless python, sometimes wearing a benign expression, sometimes honored, sometimes insulted, sometimes unknown. Thus lives the man of realization, who is ever happy with the supreme bliss. Ignorant people look upon the perfect knower of Brahman, who is wholly rid of bondages of the body, etc., as possessed of the body, seeing but an appearance of it. Okay? So the realized one knows that it's all Brahman, it's only Brahman. But those in the ignorance are seeing, oh, look at the body, they're attached to the body, it's all about the body, okay? Absolutely not. As a piece of wood is borne by the current to high or low ground, so is his body carried on by the momentum of past actions to the varied experience of their fruits, as these present themselves in due course, okay? One comes in, and with realization, one continues forward, okay, in the play of life. Because there's realization doesn't mean all of a sudden everything stops. And one goes into some pre-described, Lord only knows what box of defined ideas the people have, okay? Let's continue forward. The man of realization, bereft of the body idea, okay? Doesn't mean that they don't take care of the body, okay? Within consciousness, one knows I am not the body, I am spirit, okay? So just because one takes care of the form and delights in the things that are here, okay, because they are only part and parcel also of Brahman, don't mistake what's taking place as an attachment, thinking one is only this form, okay? So let's read this again. The man of realization, bereft of the body idea, moves amid sense enjoyments like a man subject to transmigration. What? They do ordinary things like ordinary people? Okay? Through desires engendered by the prarabdha work, he himself, however, lives unmoved in the body like a witness free from mental oscillations, like the pivot of a potter's wheel. Like I was explaining the other day, one is like the linga, okay? You have that still center, and the world of Shakti moves around it. The body moves. Have you never seen the dance of Nataraj, Shiva? Okay? Shiva dances amidst creation or destruction. He is not moved by either. He has the dance, okay, of liberation. Okay. So let's continue on. The realized one, as an actor, when he puts on the dress of his role or when he does not, is always a man. They're always, you're going to see a body form. So the perfect knower of Brahman is always Brahman and nothing else. Okay? That's why it's called the play of Leela. Entered the play. Okay? One is not confused by Maya, by this projection. Okay? So, question was asked from Ramana, what are the fundamental tests for discovering men of great spirituality, since some are reported to behave like insane people? Okay? Ramana says the Jnani's mind is only known to the Jnani. One must be a Jnani on oneself in order to understand another Jnani. His words or actions or appearance are no indication of his greatness, for they are ordinarily beyond the comprehension of common people. Okay? One works where they are at. One engages where they are at. The Jnani knows he is the self and nothing, neither his body nor anything else exists but the self. Okay? It's all Brahman. The divine is in the heart of all, of creation. Singular. The existence of ego in any form, whether in the Jnani or the Ajnani is one that does not know, has blinders on, is itself an experience. But to the Ajnani, the one with blinders on who is deluded into thinking that the waking state and the world are real, the ego also appears to be real. Since he sees the Jnani act like other individuals, what is that? Act like other individuals? He feels constrained to posit some notion of individuality with reference to the Jnani also. What is it? They're projecting their ignorance. They're projecting their ignorance. Okay? With their attachments. Okay? Their conditioned ideations about what it has to look like, has to appear, has to be. But let's look at that again. Since he sees the Jnani act like other individuals, he feels constrained to posit some notion of individuality with reference to the Jnani also. Okay? In the ignorant state, one superimposes one's ignorance on a Jnani and mistakes him for a doer. Okay? So there is an illustration for this kind of illusion or superimposition. Two friends went to sleep side by side. One of them dreamt that both of them had gone on a long journey and that they had strange experiences. On waking up, he recapitulated them and asked his friend if it was not so. And the other one simply ridiculed him, saying it was only his dream and could not affect the other. So it is with the Ajnani, the Ajnani, the one with blinders, who superimposes his illusory ideas onto others. Again, in the ignorant state, one superimposes one's ignorance on a Jnani and mistakes him for a doer. An Ajnani one in blinders, sees someone as a jnani and identifies him with the body. Okay? He identifies him with a body because he does not know the self and mistakes the body for the self. He extends the same mistake to the state of the jnani. The jnani is therefore considered to be the physical frame. Again, since the ajnani, though he is not the doer, imagines himself to be the doer and considers the actions of the body his own, he thinks the jnani to be similarly acting when the body's active. The jnani sees nothing separate from the self. The self is shining and only pure jnana. So there is no ajnana, ignorance, in his sight. Okay? It's all Brahman. It's all spirit. Okay? It's all the divine is. I see you doing things. How can you say you never perform actions? Okay? I see you moving. I see you doing stuff. How can you say you're not the body? How can you say you're not performing action? How can you say these things? Okay? The radio sings and speaks. But if you open it, you'll find no one inside. Similarly, my existence is like space. Though this body speaks like the radio, there's no one inside as a doer. Well, person goes, I find this hard to understand. Could you elaborate on this? Well, there are various illustrations given in books to enable us to understand how the jnani can live and act without the mind. What is that? Mind repressed. Okay, ignoring thoughts. Okay, witnessing thoughts. No, it means without thoughts. Without thoughts. How can you live and act without the mind? Although living and acting require the use of the mind, it's hard to understand how this is possible. Okay? These explanations are for the onlookers who think of the jnani as one with a body and cannot help identifying him with his body. Okay? The consciousness, in the moment of realization, the mind still stops. It goes into Turiyatita. Okay? Okay? One becomes like the linga, still in the center. There is a body. It moves. Nataraj moves. Body moves. Existence moves. Yet there is no mistake. There is only the divine is. There is only the divine is, and that is what moves. And in the world of duality, the eyes are going to see objects. But in the mind of the jnani, there is only pure consciousness, pure awareness, without obstruction, that lives within that direct knowledge, that direct reality of the divine is. Okay? Not consciousness, okay? Full consciousness. Not a depressed consciousness. If you don't have consciousness, you don't have awareness. Okay? Direct consciousness, but without occlusion, without obstruction. Okay? So again, one could be a king, one could be whatever, it doesn't matter, a street sweeper, a dancer, a weaver, It doesn't matter. And what one that's in the unrealized state sees, they project it because they see them doing something other than what their preconceived notions are, judge them wrongly. Because you cannot know the mind of a jnani unless you are a jnani. Unless you have, again, deconstructed into that divine is, and that is a living reality. Not something one's read in a book and trying to understand it logically. Okay? As some sort of knowledge that one can, learn, like in a college course. Spirituality, this is not a college course where you get credits and then you graduate. If you've learned to parrot it enough, you can graduate it. No. So there are so many mistaken notions about this. How can you have no mind and speak? Okay. How can you have no thoughts and speak? Direct consciousness. Direct consciousness. Okay. That's how it works. So love and light to everyone. Mistaken notions about a jnani. What a jnani is, what a jnani's not. How does a realized being have to look, act, talk, speak? Okay. What can they do, not do? What precludes them from being a jnani? What actions preclude them? Okay. So many people have so many mistaken notions. Okay. So, again, this is what Ashtavakra Gita and what Ramana have to say about what a jnani is, what the realized being is and is not, and about one's judgments about them. Okay. So I'm going to leave this here. Love and light.